So I was getting ready to play Hybrid Warriors Age of Calamity. Pretty good game so far. Enjoying it. Frame rates, whatever. Until I actually was watching a video of a movement that's been going on called Bring Back Timer. Hashtag, by the way. And I think Pokegame made a video of this on his channel. And as you guys may or may not know, Pokegame is pretty much the singles Pokemon player on YouTube. Smogon, pretty good player. I mean, that's a very understatement of him. He's one of the greatest battlers in singles competitive play. But he brought the Showdown movement to YouTube, which is pretty big because it's phenomenal. I use Showdown. I play Wi-Fi. I'm pretty much a singles player. If you guys probably already know that Pokemon Game Freak themselves in this generation limited the timer to 20 minutes compared to 60 that we had last generation. And you may be saying, well, it kind of makes sense on their part because VGC is the official format that they want their competitive players to get into. But there's quite a bit of an issue with that. And the reason why is that we are presented, or Pokemon presents us in singles format. The story, majority of main story play and post story is all singles. The battle tower, singles. I mean, we got multiple formats like multiplayer and doubles, but we are presented to Pokemon initially in the story as singles. It doesn't make any sense for them to alienate a majority of your audience with a limited experience. And I think that was a pretty big point of the video. I'm not going to play it, obviously, because I don't want to get striked. But I'm just going on Twitter because this is where the initial fight is at. And I actually forgot to like this. So, oops. And we're just going to go over some of the comments that people make. And I will, piggyback on some of their stuff that they've been saying. And this guy says here, or girl, I'm sorry. Showdown is an incredible tool for trying out battles and or testing different teams. That's true. However, competitive battling shouldn't need to go outside the actual game just to play a competitive 6v6 battle. And I actually find that very true because in Showdown, there's an actual timer per turn. There isn't a battle timer per se, but there is a timer. I believe it's 2.5 minutes per turn that you have to take. Otherwise, you just completely forfeit the match. It does not go autopilot like in Wi-Fi. And I think Showdown is, if you want to be really good in singles format, go to Showdown. Which kind of sucks because you'd feel like Game Freak would be trying to cultivate their competitive audience into playing singles and doubles, where unfortunately in this circumstance that Game Freak is just cultivating it towards doubles or VGC, which is the official format. And you think that, well, why should we limit the singles players? That should have been the first thing that should have came into mind with Game Freak. Like, we are playing Pokemon in singles format the majority of the time. It just doesn't make any sense why they want to do that. I really haven't heard any logistical reasoning from Game Freak as of yet as to why they did. And we're going to go into more. Thanks for putting out this, Joey. This affects my channel based around C6 OU Wi-Fi battle, which I do too, but I kind of use Dynamax too, which kind of breaks OU. That's just tearing because I know people will try to Dynamax as much as they can, which makes sense. I have a difficult time finding competitive battlers who want to battle on Wi-Fi. That's true because, again, the more competitive singles players, their games are not going to take 20 minutes. Those guys' games are going to take a million turns with 90 seconds of thought processing and battling forever and ever, because singles is very complicated depending on what type of team you're going up against, what team you're using, what's your build and all that. So yeah, it's kind of like, I feel like, to me now, before this generation, I would actually enjoy play Wi-Fi battles more than Showdown, believe it or not, because I use Showdown for testing, and then I would import those teams into my 3DS and play them like crazy, and it's a pretty good experience. But in this generation, it kind of flipped. I'd rather prefer playing Showdown now more than playing Wi-Fi because of that limited experience. To me, I still enjoy playing Wi-Fi, but at the same time, it's just, 20 minutes isn't enough, is what I'm trying to get at. And people saying 30, 40 minutes, I'm like, bro, no. Just give it 60 minutes. What's wrong with having 60 minutes? Oh, people are stalling or whatever. People are just wasting their time on singles. Well, then you know that then just do the same. Then why would you want to limit something that's already been good? Why fix something that isn't broken? And then you can probably see more responses. It's always been baffling why there is no timer settings for a casual match, which is kind of true because there is casual like battling, but they still have 20-minute timers, which is ridiculous. Like, are they clearly able to have modes with altered timer parameters, special rules? I believe there was the extreme speed rules, what this is referring to. Um, that pretty much is the fastest way you can play singles, but it was a 3v3 format. Another thing too is why hasn't there been a 6v6 ranked format? Like, I know 3v3 is like battle spot and that's pretty much common throughout many generations of Pokemon gaming, but how come there hasn't been a 6v6 ranked competitive format, which doesn't make any sense? Just have like the same, you can either have the same ban list on there and yeah, as VGC, and then you'd be fine. Like, I just it's pretty funny. I just don't get it. The timer should have been 30 minutes or even better to be adjustable and be able to change it from 10 minutes at the lowest to 2 hours at the highest. I'm not sure about 2 hours, but I think an hour is just fine. I think 1 hour should be the max. I personally think it should be 1 hour, min or max, pretty much. But yeah, it's crazy. The other thing you actually have to consider is that Pokemon animations take forever. Have you seen Dynamax moves? Don't they take like roughly 10 seconds? Isn't the transformation of Dynamax moves takes like a whole damn 30 seconds or even a minute, depending on what kind of attacks are you using? It just doesn't make any sense. And even if you try to speed it up with the no battle animations, it still takes up the time. So unless everyone is playing without animations, which kind of sucks, Game Freak got to think better, man. I really don't understand why they ditched the chest timer in Gen 7. Not only did they give both players no time to act for a match, but also killed stalling in its tracks, as stalling of any sort would hurt you rather than the opponent. That actually is kind of true because at the end, the way the game decides victory is based on HP. The more HP your team has, not just one Pokemon, but the more HP your team has, the more likely you're going to win when it comes down to the, at the end of the timer. And the other thing too is that there is no recorder or battle recorder or versus recorder in this generation, which is another baffling decision making that they did. You do realize that you cannot record battles without using Elgato. A common Elgato is worth about $160, $180 right now. That's just the HDMI one. If you're using a capture card within your PC, that's an additional $100 or so. I don't remember the exact price, but the only way you can record your battles is either you use it on your phone, which is usually not the best quality, use a cam recorder, which isn't the best quality either, or you want the pristine, top of the line notch recording system, you got an Elgato. And even then, why don't we have a versus recorder either? And yeah, so that's pretty much what I think about the timer thing. I think they should definitely bring the timer up to 60 minutes regardless of what format you're playing. I know VGC has its own rules and they're usually, their rules have always been pretty consistent, which is why there's not really a lot of complaints from VGC. But come on, Game Freak, just give some love to singles. What's so difficult about, providing something so simple, something so effective, yet so simple to the millions of people who play singles on Wi-Fi? That's why the quality of Wi-Fi battles that I've played nowadays isn't that great. And the reason why it takes forever for me to actually record a video is because I have to play 5 to 6 matches a day just to record a quality battle. Otherwise, my battle videos aren't that great. They don't dictate how good I am because the quality of the competition is not that great. Now, why is that? because we're lacking quality battlers who don't want to play on a limited experience with a limited 20-minute timer. So that's just my opinion. I think that Game Freak needs some explaining to do because one, the timer sucks. Two, there's no versus recorder or battle recorder, which kind of sucks. I'm not definitely not gonna try to ever record anything of low quality because it's 2020. This isn't 2008. And three, if you're showing us the game in singles from the very beginning, why not just support that? So it's your boy Franklin signing out. I really think Game Freak dropped the ball on it, and I know this issue has been plaguing Sword and Shield for quite a while, but now it's starting to ramp up, like some discussion among some top heads. Even we got supporters here, like we got Wolfie, who's VGC, we got Cybertron VGC, and we got James Biek. I can't say his last name. You got James, who's also BGC as well. These three, I know these two here are world champions. Wolfie's a champion VGC. But the fact that he's talking for the singles community, that's pretty good, man. And that just goes to show Game Freak just got to start listening to their fan base, man. Because a lot of decisions they've been making in this generation has not been good. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the night. I'm going to go play some Hyrule Warriors. So peace out, guys. Your boy Frank signing out. Tomorrow I'm going to have a giveaway of Shiny Hoenn starters. So stay tuned to that. And yeah, peace.